Welcome to Energov Training Module 5, Adding Ownership from Assessor's Information. This module is about how to associate ownership of a parcel to a permit using assessor information. We'll cover address lookup, ownership creation, and go over the differences between trusts and co-owners. Then, we'll show a few tips and tricks that you'll want to keep in mind when working in Energov. Previous modules have covered how to add existing contacts to a permit, how to create new contacts in Energov, how to add subcontacts, and how to add contractor certifications. If you're looking for information on any of these, check out our previous training modules. Let's now learn how to add ownership. From the main page of your permit, click on the Addresses tab near the center of the screen. Here, you can find associated addresses and parcels. Next, click Search Addresses at the bottom of the screen to bring up the search page. From the search screen, enter the address you're interested in looking up, and then click Search. From the search results, select the correct address and click on the folder icon next to it to open it. This will search assessor records for that address and return ownership information on file for that particular parcel. From here, you'll want to copy the assessor information to the owner information fields below. If the parcel's owner is a trust, use the word trust as the first name for the owner information field. Then copy the entire ownership information from the assessor line to the last name field so that it includes all that information as the last name. Next, you want to transpose the address information from the assessor line to the ownership address areas. Each of those fields needs to be populated separately. When copying, make sure you don't get any extra spaces because that throws things off. And use the drop-down box for street type and for state in order to make sure that things match with the way the system wants the information put in. Everything should be in all caps, and all information needs to be copied exactly as it shows on the assessor information. Once you've transposed all the information from above, make sure you choose the contact preference as mailing and go ahead and click Save. If you happen to have missed any information, it'll bring up a warning message allowing you to go back and fix it. In this case, we failed to indicate the address type. Mark it as mailing, then click Save, and you should be good to go. It will bring up a confirmation message making sure that you do actually want to add this ownership information. Click OK to proceed. Now, if you're actually dealing with a co-ownership case instead of a trust, you'll be able to tell because the assessor information should have an ampersand in the name. So you go in and you do the search of the address, you find the address, and in the assessor information you should see an ampersand. In this case, for co-ownership, first name should be co-owner, and again you'll copy the entire line to the last name field. You'll also want to continue going and copying all of the address information as it shows on the assessor information to the individual lines on the ownership address fields, using the appropriate drop-down boxes and making sure everything is in all caps. You can either copy and paste or you can just type that information in as it shows above. It's important to note that sometimes the assessor information does not include the city or state and only lists the zip code. In those instances, simply copy the zip code and do a Google search to find the city and state. Once you have all the information, transcribe all the fields back to the owner address fields so that the record will be complete. Once you've done this, again, you'll want to make sure that you select the address type as mailing and the contact preference type as address, and then click Save to add this information. Here again, it'll ask you to confirm you actually do want to add the ownership information. Click OK, and that will show up on your contacts page as a new contact. Make sure you use the drop-down box to choose the correct contact type. Once you've done that, click Save to update your permit with this information. That concludes our demo on adding ownership information. Here are some tips and tricks to keep in mind when working with Energov. First, always use all capital letters when inputting data into the system. Don't use special characters like the @ sign or the exclamation point or the pound sign. When you're copying information from the assessor information to the address pieces, do not copy extra spaces and avoid hyphens and periods. Use trust or co-owner as the first name. Use the full trust or co-owner information as the entire last name. And if the assessor information does not include the city or state, do a Google search to find them using the zip code and then copy and paste them into the appropriate places. If you've got any questions about anything having to do with Energov, you can contact either Christy Marsala or Archana Chapada, or send an email to changeagent@carlsbadca.gov. This concludes today's training. Thank you and have a great day.